SOV warfare. In 0.0, it's not just SOV. I know it's heavily SOV, but there's also groups out there who just want fights, and ganking one jump freighter does not have any fun for us.
I think that if you want fights, you need farms and fields.
Yeah, the farms and fields idea that was mentioned last year, I want to hear about that. Like what's happened since farms and fields last year?
We haven't done anything because we haven't done anything. With regard to nullsec, I mean, you guys do devlogs and stuff, you see the fact that you haven't done anything, that's just...
Could you please?
Has there been any like brainstorming ideas internally that you can share?
This is what I'm talking to you about. These are the three or four things that I have on my plate. Particularly, does anyone have any horrendous problems with 4 after months billing? As in,
we didn't like it. Like, other than pretty much everybody saying no.
But let me ask you the same question that I asked you before. If you were to do this and make it more difficult for logistics in deep 0-0, like your OMIS or your Tunnel, what is that going to do to 0-0? Would you say that would have a positive or negative impact on trying to live population? It would be horrible. You would reduce the population.
Too negative.
Less
this is the thing, is that you say no one live on OMIS, that's absolute bullshit.
Okay,
there will be someone down.
There might be 3 or 4.
There will be
reduce the population.
If you leave regions empty, they will fill up.
Right now,
what's the point of holding to zeros if it doesn't make any income right now? You're barely living there right now. What's the point?
Nullsec population, the issue we have is it's stagnating because there's fewer
making logistic hard, doing all the stuff that's going to interfere with your living in a 0-0 and claiming them. Right now, there's no point to claim them.
That's a separate issue. That's the issue itself. No, I'm not arguing with that at all. But the specific point about the deep nullsec regions is that they will always fill up. There will always be someone in Empire who wants to go nullsec.
No, you're wrong. Absolutely no. Look how long it took to fill up Delve.
I was just going to say, Delve said
that's a perfect
really
example.
empty for months.
But that was not like, was that not like a gigantic clusterfuck of like everyone putting up?
It was a tiny little clusterfuck of a few small, very weak alliances kind of vaguely slap fighting each other because like when you get,
but nobody actually took SOV. Nobody really wanted
it. It took 4 months for our
still
TCS
space
shop.
in Delve
4 months after we left.
We weren't even defending it for like 4 months.
Okay. But honestly, is that too much of an issue? For if they want to have a slap pitch fight, like a small mini one, that's okay.
But the issue with nullsec is that because it's so much easier to make money in incursions or these risk-reward balance is screwed, we need more people in nullsec. And when you're talking about trying to invigorate the gameplay by making it harder to live in Tenal and harder to live in Almas and all these other things, that's exactly the wrong direction. We need more people. We need to try to incentivize people to come out here so we can murder them.
The other aspect
I get that, and at the same depth, like, the fact that it's not worth it is a huge fucking problem to fix, but I don't think that the extra logistic distance to Delve and Tenal and Omist and places like that will make a difference. You go...
Okay, let's
go back when nullsec was worth it. was worth claiming. How long were Tenal and Omist unoccupied for? Between like 2005 and 2008?
That was post-warfare. That was back in the day when you're doing it, it was a different system because it didn't cost you to hold SOV. And so you could just say, in those areas in Tenal, Iron lost its space. Iron lost its space way up north in one of the Max campaigns because they only had 1 POS holding SOV in a station system. What you'd have is these areas where it's harder to have the logistics. You would have a thin veneer, like a very small layer of towers just claiming SOV, as opposed to a capital system or something where you would have every single moon covered. So in those areas, it's not like... It's just comparing those systems, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's no moon that are worth anything, nobody's going to put anything in there.
And that was what happened in 2005. The only reason why the people were going into the 0-0s is because there was a flag system of the 10 and the rating bounties was very nice, and that's why the people went from Empire to the 0-0.
How has...
Now it's not the same.
So again, that ices the problem with the resources there rather than with the logistic effort. We're having this discussion, and I'm listening to what you guys are saying, but just so I'm clear where I'm coming from, my thing has always been that the outer regions are really shitty ones that are hard to live in. big guys like you guys don't give a shit about them because it's too hard work. That's fine. There will be guys in Empire who will make that effort.
Well, the other aspect of that
So
is
long
though,
as we have the resource differential big enough that it's worth living there. And this is my
exactly.
point. The resource differential is the problem. The distance thing is not the problem. If the big boys don't want it, the small boys will take it. So it's
But
worth
if
it.
you're going to do the
But
logistics
it's
first,
first,
and then you're going to bring up the resources, it's
That's
going to
fair.
happen.
That's a good argument.
Yes.
That's something that we don't want to make this change
Yeah.
until we've got the.
Yeah, if you fix the resources and you get more people living in nullsec, and then you're like, well, then we want to make logistics a little more difficult. That's great, but let's not put the cart before the horse.
Sure.
the thing about making logistics more difficult, those of us that live in 0-0 and have big build-up logistical chains will suffer through it because we're a bunch of masochists.
Yes.
But if you're talking about moving new alliances out there,
Yeah.
if you make that logistical hurdle different, like they have no experience out there, they're not used to doing it, they don't have the pre-existing jump bridge networks, they don't have the millions of jump freighter pilots with the Sino-walls.
Sure.
So you are actually making the barrier for entry for those faraway places for new people that are brand new to the whole logistical nightmare that they're embarking on, that much taller.
But the flip side is if there's not areas of space that for whatever reason the big guys don't want to take, there's no other little guys in the first place. And that's kind of where I'm coming from this, is if there's not areas where you don't give a shit, you don't want to go there, you don't invest in. If everything is really good and really easy to live in, and Delve and Omist and Team are just as easy to live in as fucking wherever, closer, brain dump,
Except
whatever.
some space region, yeah.
Some nice place, then it ultimately for the big guys, and the little guys don't know where to go. So there's actually an advantage to having some areas which are a pain in the dick, because there are people now who really want to be in null sections who can't do it.
So there's a lot of things that you need to look at first, right? The biggest issue is that there's no reason to live
Yeah,
there. So
that's
we need to
cool.
get people out there. And then we need to make it easier
Motivation.
to have an effect and for fights to occur. So
Yep.
first, deal with the resources.
Sure.
Then we need to deal with the farms and fields, right? Because that gives the point where you want to go piss on somebody's lawn,
Mercantile can do stuff.
right?
Yeah,
I want to, for example, reinforce your moon miner. I'm not going to destroy it, but I'm going to stop it from working for 24 hours. Starting to incur the fight. So now we've got the resources to have people out there. We have the fights to have people out there. Once you get those things dealt with, then you can start dealing with all that other stuff. The billing, the logistics, but
Leaving the bidding alone.
all of that stuff is,
that's
I mean,
fine.
that's a year or two away.
That's fine.
I mean,
There's some
these
people
have
over here who've had hands up. There's you and there's someone over there.
No, the dude over there, my laser eyes.
Thanks, Christian. Dude over there, be sure.
First of all, take a look at the map. It's way easier to get to help than it is to August. Without places.
Sure.
That's first. Second of all, if you want to get people to 0-0, make it worth their while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Currently, I mean, shitty small lines. We're getting told, go run conversions in high sec, because there's fuck all to do.
Yeah.
In Delft.
Yeah.
0.8, 0.9, 2 sec.
Yeah. Fair.
So now you're telling us you want to make it harder to get there.
Understood. Yeah, no, I'm hearing this argument, I understand. And I'm changing what I'm
Why does it
thinking.
always have to be logistics? Why couldn't you leave them alone and make this as much as flight content?
Okay, we can take the flip side on this. I'm going to be unpopular now.
Here we go.
Like, we have logistics, but at the same time, we have force projection. We have that today you can't go between 3 regions with the Super Cup and like, haha, I'm there, bitches. So, like, that's the flip side, if you know what I mean.
Everyone can be there, it's way too easy with all jump bridges, silos, etc. On the other hand, there's fuck all to do there.
Yeah, but like, I look at it like,
Get from high sec running inversion to 0-0 to get a fleet fight. That's the only thing you can do. I can roam around. I'll be roaming for 2 hours, and I'll be happy if I can find someone who's not crossed out. Yeah.
Oh, look, they automatically warped to a pause.
Okay, you, and you. And then I'm going to do some more stuff. Hit me. I can't hear what to say.
Speak up.
Asking about the jump features, were people very angry or happy about when you unchained
I don't know, were people happy or angry?
I had to do the work, it sucked.
Mostly angry, but it's better than the original CSM5, let's remove them all nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have to take a compromise of splitting them apart
We
and
dealt.
distributing the fuel bay,
Better
okay,
compromise.
because it's better than having some high secker say, oh, we should remove jump bridges. I've never used a jump bridge before, but okay, get rid of them, which is what was happening previously.
Hate the
So
part though
fuck
that if
that.
you have a jump drive that you can't use them anymore though.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But at the same time, that allows you to, you have to say, well, I can't jump my supercarrier into this Sino-jammed system without A, taking it down for half an hour, and then leaving that system vulnerable to getting hot dropped for half an hour. So if you have good planning and that you know, hey, they're jumping super hot, you can protect them from getting hot dropped,
When I had experience with it, it was because of that horrendous little pocket of joystick space between Keenel and Is that not an issue anymore? Okay, fine.
I would say the only place that is actually hard for logistics is the Chrome region.
By far, I mean, Go region is the only place that you can even talk about logistics. We used to do, when we were living in Victoria, we would fetch POS fuel 4 years ago, doing 100 jumps to escort fighters in the first block for the two pirate alliances. That was hard logistics. You can't even compare the modern logistics in any way.
Duly noted. Duly noted. I will use Omis as my example. Was it not Omis? It's Chrome.
Yeah, no, it's just like, but like as I say, that's like you're with me when we were young.
That was
No,
fun
yeah.
gameplay.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but you know.
Yeah, I'm with you on this flip side.
Over here. Put his hand up.
Yeah, I'm from a minor alliance living in MC space.
As in small, not as in mining, right?
Huh?
As in small. Not as in minor. You're not like a minor alliance.
Speak up.
But yeah, the thing is, we are a formed part of the Man Alliance. We build ecosystem upgrades. But when people ask, well, what should we do to make money? Either they run the mission in 0-0, or they go back to
Yeah, done. We're done.
why the hell would you know?
It's done. You need to make space for work more. We have more recent people out in space. That is happening.
It's the original two issues. Make it worth it, and then make small games have an effect. Farms and field and resources. Those are the
So two people over here. Two over here. It was you, and there was someone else over there. You. Hit me.
The farms and fields thing, I wasn't here last year, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but the biggest thing that we don't want to have to deal with is like high hit point structures where like Poco's right now. Yeah, we could drop a couple supers on it and have it done within 15. But that's, we want it to be targetable by small gangs.
Yeah. 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 No,
Not small gangs of Titans.
hit points.
I would like to just comment on something Mitani already started to discuss about picking the right time when to attack an alliance concerning branch campaign. What shocked me was that with having, I think in 3 weeks, three significant fights or significant signs of defense, it still took fucking 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, you break the alliance, and then after you break the alliance and the people have given up, you're like, well, I guess we have to grind through all this shit for the next 4 weeks and burn ourselves out. Structure, like you want to talk about structure timers? Holy
Okay, so this segues into the next thing I was going to bring up, which is changing how Conquest works, changing how the SBEs and the TCs work. And I'm going to come at this from what I want to, like, this is going back to what I was saying, this is going back to what I was saying earlier about strategy and variety and giving people tools and letting people fight wars their own way. And the thing I really hate the most, okay, not maybe the most, but one of the things I hate the most about the Dominion system is that every single system Conquest goes exactly the same way. You drop your SBUs, you kill TCU, you kill the IHub, you kill the Outpost, blah 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 blah, 1, 2, 3, 4, everyone goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's really dull, and there's none of the, like, there's no, like, strategy, and there's no, like, how we're going to do this, it's just like, we're going to put these down, and we're going to come back in 2 days, we're going to put these down, and then we're going to come back in 6 hours, and we're going to put these down, and we go on the system, it's so boring. So, what I'm thinking about doing, the idea that I have that I'm knocking about that I want you guys to give me feedback on is, we basically make it so that it's really easy to kill a TCU. And basically what I want to get to is so that when you're having a fight with a system, we say we're going to contest the system from you, and it goes into either you both put up a TCU or you kill their TCU or whatever, you're having a fight. And that fight continues until basically some existing structure or new structure with a real number of hit points, it takes 24 hours to online. And you have to get those things fuckers online. You have to basically have space superiority in the system for 24 hours to claim solve. And what this means is that we move away from a system where it is claim solve, win fight. We move to a system where it's win fight, claim solve. However you guys want to get space superiority and kick them out of that system, whatever tricks you want to use, you want to camp them in, you want to kill them, you want to grind them out, you want to kill that logistics chain, whatever, but the system is contested.